Additional practice question to CBSE Class 10 Math. This question is from the topic a pair of linear equations in two variables. What's the concept? This question is a word problem. What are word problems? Information is given to us in words and sentences. We need to frame equations. So solving any word problem entails two steps. The first one, we need to frame equations. In this instance, the equations that we'll frame will be a pair of linear equations in two variables, or alternatively, there'll be equations that can be reduced to a pair of linear equations in two variables. So in either case, we'll actually be getting two linear equations, a pair of linear equations in two variables finally. Solve those two equations and find the answer to the question asked. Let's get started by understanding what information is given to us. Prem can row 58 kilometers downstream and 45 kilometers upstream in 5 hours. So it's a question where he is rowing upstream downstream. Alternatively, he can row 87 kilometers downstream and 30 kilometers upstream in the same 5 hours. What we need to determine is the speed of the boat in still water and the speed of the stream. Let's assign two variables for these two quantities that we need to find out. Let the speed of the boat in still water be x kilometers per hour and the speed of the stream be y kilometers per hour. We're talking about Prem rowing downstream and upstream. Let's look at what is this downstream scenario. Downstream is a scenario where, let's say, the stream is flowing in this direction and Prem is rowing in the same direction. So the boat and the stream are in the same direction. So it's as good as walking on a walkalator or climbing up an escalator. The stream is going to help the boat move faster because it's moving in the same direction as the stream. So what will be the speed of the boat when someone is observing it from the banks of the stream? That is what is called the downstream speed. That is going to be equal to the speed of the boat plus the speed of the stream. So it's going to be equal to x plus y. So downstream speed is always speed of the boat plus the speed of the stream. The second case, he is rowing upstream. Upstream is essentially the stream is flowing in this direction at y kilometers per hour. Now Prem is moving in the opposite direction. He is moving in this direction. So the stream is going to resist the flow. So his speed is going to be cut down. How much will it be cut down? It will be cut down to the same extent as the speed of the stream. So when he is rowing upstream, the upstream speed of the boat is always the speed of the boat in still water minus the speed of the stream, which is x minus y in this case. So always downstream speed is x plus y, x speed of the boat in still water, y the speed of the stream, and upstream speed is x minus y. Let's use these two information along with what is given in the state, how many kilometers is rowing and what time is he taking to frame two equations. Let's get started. We know that time is equal to distance by speed. In the first instance, how many kilometers this part? He's rowing downstream. He's rowing 58 kilometers downstream and 45 kilometers upstream. That's the first case. And it takes 5 hours to accomplish this. Let's frame an equation. What's the downstream speed? Distance is 58 kilometers. Downstream speed is x plus y. So it's going to take him 58 by x plus y hours. 58 kilometers at a speed of x plus y kilometers per hour. So he's going to take 58 by x plus y hours to row downstream 58 kilometers. To row 45 kilometers upstream, it's going to take him 45 kilometers upon the upstream speed, which is equal to x minus y. So distance by speed. We got the time for both these actions. So he's rowing 58 kilometers downstream plus 45 kilometers downstream. The total time taken is equal to 5 hours. Let's call this as equation 1. Let's move on to the second scenario. Second scenario, he is rowing 87 kilometers downstream. The time taken for that will be equal to 87 by the downstream speed, which is x plus y. He is rowing 30 kilometers upstream. The time taken for this will be 30 upon the upstream speed, which is equal to x minus y. So time to row downstream, time to row upstream together will give us the time taken to row 87 kilometers downstream and 30 kilometers upstream. Look at it. These two are two equations, but they are not linear equations. We know we can bring this down to reduce it to a pair of linear equations in two variables. Let's assign two new variables. Let's say p is equal to 1 by x plus y. We're seeing an x plus y component here and an x plus y component in both these equations. Let's call this as equation 2. And we also see an 1 by x minus y component. Let's say q is equal to 1 by x minus y. So let's replace all 1 by x plus y with a p and all 1 by x minus y with a q. So 58 by x plus y is 58 into 1 by x plus y. So this becomes 58p plus 45 into 1 by x minus y. So this portion is equal to 45q. This is equal to 5. So this we'll call it as equation number 3. We have reduced this equation 1 to a linear equation in two variables the way we are always used to seeing. Let's run through the same exercise for equation 2. So that's going to leave us with an 87p because 1 by x plus y is a p plus 30q. 1 by x minus y is a q. So this is equal to 5. Let's call this as equation 4. All that is left is to solve 3 and 4 to find the values for p and q. Subsequently, let's substitute those values that we get for p and q, frame equations in x plus y and x minus y, solve for x, solve for y. That's what we're going to do. Let's get started by solving equations 3 and 4. Equation 3 is 58p plus 45q equals 5. 87p plus 30q equals 5 is equation 4. I'm going to use the elimination method to solve these two equations. We'll have to equate the coefficients of either p or q. Q sounds or looks a little easier to work with. So let's go by equating the coefficients of q. 45q, 30q. Easiest way to go about it is find the LCM of 45 and 30, which is equal to 90. So let's multiply equation number 4 with a 3 initially. So that will leave us with 87 into 3, which is equal to 261p plus 90q. This is equal to 15. This is equation number, let's say 6. How did we get 6? 6 is nothing but equation 4 into 3. Let's multiply equation 3 with a 2. When I multiply this equation with a 2, I'm going to multiply it with a 2. 58 into 2 is 116. 116p plus 90q is equal to 5 into 2, which is equal to 10. Let's call this as equation 5. 3 into 2 is equation 5. 4 into 3 is equation 6. How did we get equation 5? That's nothing but equation 3 into 2. All I'm going to do is subtract equation 5 from equation 6. When we do that, we have 261p minus 116p. That will leave us with 145p. 90q gets cancelled with 90q. 15 minus 10 equals a 5. 145p equals 5. So p is equal to 5 upon 145. This is equal to 1 by 29. So we found the value of p. Next step, let's substitute the value of p in one of these equations, either equation 3 or equation 4. Let's do it in equation 3. So when we do that, we get 58 times p is a 1 by 29 plus 45q. This is equal to 5. This is 1 by 29. 29 cancels with 58 to leave us with a 2. Take the 2 to the right hand side. We'll get 45q is equal to 5 minus 2, which is a 3. Or q is equal to 3 upon 45, which is equal to 1 by 15. What is p? P is equal to 1 by x plus y. That's what we assigned it to be. So if 1 by x plus y equals 1 by 29, then we know that x plus y is equal to 29. Let's call this as equation number 7. What is q? Q is equal to 1 upon x minus y. Cross multiply, we'll get x minus y is equal to 15. Let's call this as equation 8. It's a very simple, straightforward equations to solve to get the value of x and y. Let's add equation 7 to equation 8. When we do that, we have x plus y is equal to 29 and an x minus y equals a 15. Add these two equations. Y gets cancelled with minus y. We get 2x equals 44. If 2x equals 44, then the value of x is equal to 22. Plug in the value of x as 22 in one of these equations. Let's do it in equation 7. So 22 plus a y equals 29 or y is equal to 7. What is x? Speed of the boat in still water. So that is equal to 22 kilometers per hour. What is y? Y is the speed of the stream. That is equal to 7 kilometers per hour. Quickly summarize this entire discussion in a printed form. Probably will take us about 45 seconds. Right. Time taken to row 58 kilometers downstream is the distance by the downstream speed. Upstream 45 kilometers is 45 upon x minus y. So it takes 5 hours for the total journey to row 58 downstream and 45 upstream. So time taken to row upstream plus time taken downstream plus time taken to row upstream, downstream, upstream. Total time taken equals 5. So this is part 1 of how the equation is framed. Second one, we're going to be looking at 87 kilometers downstream and 30 kilometers upstream. So time taken to row 87 downstream and 30 upstream. Total time taken for this journey is 5. So you get the second equation. We're going to reduce these two equations to a pair of linear equations in two variables. We're going to assign p equals 1 by x plus y, q equals 1 by x minus y. So first equation essentially becomes this. Second equation becomes this. We're going to be solving these two equations using elimination method. Multiply this equation with the 2 and this equation with the 3. So we get equations 5 and 6. Subtract equation 5 from 6 to find the value of p, which is equal to 1 upon 29. Substitute the value of p is equal to 1 upon 29 in this equation, equation number 3, or you can do it in equation 4. If you're doing it in equation 3, found the value of q to be equal to 3 upon 45. This is equal to 1 by 15. So found the value of p, found the value of q. P is equal to 1 by x plus y, which is a 1 by 29. So x plus y equals 29. Q equals 1 by x minus y, which is a 1 by 15. So x minus y equals 15. Add these two equations, find the value of x. X equals 22, which is nothing but the boat speed in still water. Substitute x equals 22 in equation 7. We'll get the value of y to be equal to 7. That is the speed of the stream. Before you leave, do two things. Sign up at online.maxtute.com and get started with your CBSE Class 10 Maths coaching. It takes all of 5 minutes and 3 steps to get started. Second thing I would like you to do is basically subscribe to this channel, youtube.com/maxtute, and spread the word among your friends and classmates.